People ask me all the time, because I'm blind, are my other senses heightened, as if I'm some sort of superhero that's been gifted by nature with other amazing senses so I can go out and fight crime. And you can Google the hell out of this question and get a bunch of science answers. Science! But the real deal is this. Two senses seem heightened, one is heightened, one is probably worse, and there are two other senses that other people don't even talk about that are heightened. The first one I think is the most fascinating, is one of the ones that seems heightened. It's the sense of smell, and it's pretty good for me, but doesn't always help me out in every situation.
He stepped in poop.
Yeah, I had no idea there was dog poo there.
You were gonna lean down and move yourself, I'm like, don't do that!
Well, and of all the places, like, why did I end up stepping in the poop?
I don't know.
However, because it's one of my remaining senses, I do have to pay a lot more attention to it, so I can identify things that maybe other people wouldn't.
Oh, it's another candy. Lemon.
Kind of candy,
lemon
yeah.
drop. Is it like lemon?
That's
lemon
as close as you'll get. Sugared lemon zest.
Okay.
So, yeah.
I got the lemon.
Yeah, you got that.
Like when sighted people are out at a mall and they want to look for a particular food place, they just look for it and aren't really paying attention to their sense of smell. But since that's one of my best functioning senses, that's exactly what I do.
Now it's back. Now I smell lo mein.
Okay.
I smell... Yes. Is this a... Oh, I'm definitely at a Chinese food restaurant. Is it?
Yes, you are.
Now, one of the reasons people might think that my sense of smell is heightened is because I'm constantly blurting out what I smell. And this isn't really great in every circumstance, by the way. But I think I do this because sighted people have the ability to just look in the distance and see a pizza place and they smell it, but they're not really paying attention to the fact that they're smelling it because they see it and they know it's a pizza place. Me, however, from 100 yards out, will be like, pizza, I smell pizza. And the sighted people are like, wow, you smelled that all the way from here? I believe my sense of smell isn't any better than anyone else's. I'm just constantly paying attention to it, though. My sense of hearing is another one I'm certain people think is heightened on blind people. Because I lost my eyesight doesn't mean that I have supersonic intense hearing and I'm like off the charts when I do the hearing tests, but I do use my hearing in a different way. In fact, I basically assemble what my entire world is by hearing it. There's this one video where I was standing and talking to the camera and out of nowhere it appeared. I spun around and started talking to a woman and everyone was like, hey, how did you see her?
These glasses make me look like a surfer?
Absolutely.
All right, there you go. It worked. I didn't see that woman or her dog, but I did hear her dog's collar jangling coming towards me, and I heard her footsteps and had a really good approximation of where she was, which is how I was able to turn around and look like I knew where she was. My sense of taste. This one I think is actually worse because I can't see. What you taste, I think, has a lot to do with what you're expecting to taste. Like that time I was trying to suck on a straw. I didn't know it wasn't a straw because I couldn't see that it wasn't a straw. If I'd been able to see that there was no hole going down the middle of it, maybe I would have engaged my sense of taste and realized that it was a sugar cane stick.
Oh yeah, you can chew on it. That's good.
I think your eyesight informs your sense of taste a lot. If you know exactly what's in a burger that you're about to eat, you can start to pick out those individual flavors. Whereas for me, if it's just a big blob of I don't know what I'm eating, I don't know what I'm eating.
There's like nothing in here. It's just meat and bread, as far as I can tell. I mean, I guess there's cheese, but some pretty weak-ass cheese.
You can try that one out sometime. Close your eyes and have one of your friends give you some food. I guarantee you'll be confused. If you don't know what you're eating, flavors are not as precise as they would be otherwise. Now, my sense of touch. That one, I believe, is definitely heightened. I can use my sense of touch to figure out certain things in the world.
Do you have long blonde hair?
No, it's short now. Feel it.
You shaved your head?
Yeah, feel it.
What? Oh my God, it's super short. Oh my God, where'd all your hair go?
But I can also use my sense of touch in a very fine sense that most people, again with eyesight, wouldn't have to do. I designed one of the logos for my channel that I called Surf Squatch by feeling where I was laying down the chalk as I was drawing and laying out chalk sticks around it, and I could feel that whole thing and kind of assemble in my mind what I was drawing and where it all was on the page. That's kind of a rare instance of how a blind person would use touch. But Braille. I tried learning Braille, never quite got it, but I do remember when I very first put my finger on the page and just started feeling bumps, I was like, I can't tell one bump from the other. It's just a bunch of bumps. But because the sense of touch is so important to blind people, especially when they're learning Braille, I believe definitely the sense of touch becomes heightened as you practice it and become better at feeling very, very minute little things. Now, the two things that people don't even think about when you lose a sense. For me, I think I have a crazy sense of balance. I spent my entire life with either crappy vision and now no vision, and as a result, have always had to compensate for things that you could see coming, but I didn't know were there.
I'm up.
Hey, you know what?
I didn't fall there, even though the rocks were shifting underneath my feet, and I think a lot of other people would have bit it. But like I said, lifetime of practicing, last-second compensations, probably the reason that I picked up surfing and have been skateboarding for so long successfully. Now, the last one, it's not really a sense, but it's your memory. Some people might remember in a time before cell phones, you knew everybody's phone number that you knew off the top of your head. Hundreds of phone numbers. Reason was that there was no easy way to look it up and reference it, so you just had to memorize it. Since I lost my eyesight, I don't have the ability to quickly look up, reference, or visually cue in on anything anymore. So I store a lot of stuff in my brain. Plus, it's how I assemble what I think is happening in the world around me. I hear a certain noise, smell a certain smell, and maybe feel a little something, and kind of put all those together by accessing memories that I have and go, oh, I'm standing at this place.
Yeah, it doesn't smell familiar, it doesn't sound familiar, it doesn't taste familiar. I don't know where I am.
Memory and quick recall become super important when you can no longer see for reference points. Does any of that make me a superhero? I've got good balance, good memory, good sense of smell, good sense of hearing, bad sense of taste, and I can feel things pretty well. That would be kind of a weird superhero, but it does allow me to live my life in a way that seems at the very least, confusing to a lot of people. But hopefully this helped answer your question about the other senses of a blind person. If you've got any other questions you'd like to ask, this is all part of a series called Blind Guy Q&A, so ask away in the comments, and don't forget to click subscribe so you can see when other Q&As that I do plus all the other videos about my life show up new here on YouTube.